Last year, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana tabled the mid-term budget policy statement to lay down the country's economy's road to recovery from the devastating effects of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Now it's time to crystallise plans to lift the economy. All eyes will be on the minister this month as he tables the much-anticipated inaugural national budget speech to be delivered on the 23rd of February 2022.
If you are a recipient of social grants, what you will look for is how much is the government going to increase the grants that it gives to you. If you are an ordinary worker, everyone will look at how much the government intends raising or not raising your taxes.
For the first time coming to you from the historical Good Hope Chambers in Parliament. Catch our live coverage across all SABC platforms. SABC News, independent and impartial.
All right, we are counting down to that budget speech, and there are calls for the Minister of Finance not to increase the general fuel and road accident fund levies in that speech. This as the price of petrol is set to break another record high in just a short while, early March. The price of petrol soared above 20 Rand per litre last year. It's now set to soar above 21 Rand in March. Let's show you this graph. Looking back over the last year, we can see that the trend in petrol prices has been up. There are the prices for 95 unleaded fuel in Gauteng. Now remember, this is fuel that has to be transported inland, so it's therefore the most expensive fuel on the market. Prices in March last year, 16 Rand 32 per litre. If you go down to December of last year, they climbed above 20 Rand, a difference of nearly 4 Rand. They came down in January but went up again in February. And according to a prediction from the AA yesterday, it looks like the price of petrol will rise by around 1 Rand in March, and there you can see that prediction taking it to above 21 Rand per litre. The AA is looking at the price of imported oil and the level of the Rand this month, which will determine the level of fuel next month. Changes usually happen on the first Wednesday of each month. Let's discuss. We're now joined by SABC's economics editor, Tshepo Mongoai. Great to have you with us, as always, Tshepo. So, 21 Rand per litre, that's per litre, so it depends how big your car is, but this is significant for consumers, for motorists in this economic environment.
It is quite worrying. In fact, we've been seeing this trend that has emerged recently, where we having a price of fuel increasing by around 1 Rand. Pretty concerning, because it hits especially the poor. They spend a lot of money on transport, and we know that it also been a major driver of inflation, that if these trends continue will become more broad-based in our economy. But I think we should start asking the question, what other factor could be really behind this steep increases that we see in our country, with the backdrop of the refineries. We know that our refineries are shutting down. We know that we're importing most of our fuel. We know that the cost of transport, of bringing in goods by ship has been skyrocketing, and it's a concern. You see many companies that are importing goods, they are raising concerns around this. Yes, we still have Mozambique that is bringing in a lot of fuel in the country, but it is concerning that we are seeing that.
I mean, you can just imagine what will happen if Russia invades Ukraine. We have geopolitical tensions, because a huge driver of what we're seeing is the global oil price, right?
Absolutely. And more concerning domestically is that we don't have reserves. We know we sold out our reserves, and that is a very strategic asset that we need, especially when there's so much uncertainties that we see. I'm glad that there will be, the government, apparently there's rumors, is considering buying Saprif, which is closing down, and that will help the government to start building reserves and protecting us against a lot of shocks that will definitely come. It's a question of when, would they come in?
Because, I mean, even local suppliers benchmark against the global oil price and government sets a price, but I guess then we would have a buffer and government could set a lower price if things really got out of hand and it was hard to get your hands on any oil at almost any price. That's the idea.
Absolutely. I mean, the classical example is the US. They've got huge reserves in their economy. It's not like they've got a lot of oil wells. It's just that they've managed to build those reserves. Many other countries are. Yes, it has become much better because we are bringing in fuel from neighboring countries, and that is helping, and I'm sure it's much cheaper. For example, at the moment, Sasol is actually the mainstay that we're able to bring in a lot of fuel much cheaper into the economy. But more concerning is that currently in the fuel sector, there are a lot of new players that have come in, and there are concerns about the quality of the product that a whole lot of new players are bringing in the economy.
To add to the price concerns, great.
Yes, absolutely.
So there are these calls for government to really be careful about the levies. Tell us what portion of the price we're paying, maybe we can bring up that graph again,
yes.
looking at how prices have increased. What portion are we paying on levies right now, and are they justified?
I think levies we are at around 6 rand 16 cents. Just levy
almost
on levy.
7 rand of the 21 rand
Yes,
or so is levies.
excluding the margins that for the retailers and the distribution costs. So actually the amount is higher than 6 rand 16 cents if you add all that. But this is just a portion for the levies. So there are those who some economists who are saying perhaps the road accident fund, where we know the road accident fund, there are problems. So the levy or the road accident levy, we could see a steep increase there. But the general fuel levy, the feeling in the market is that if we see an increase, it will just be marginal. But given the fact that the general fuel levy is high, I mean, it's almost 4 rand.
Yeah. So government needs taxes right now, but it will be cognizant of, like you say, the workers who are trying to hold on to jobs,
Sure.
who are spending a large portion of their salary, their income on transport every day.
Absolutely. I mean, they are the ones who are really going to feel the brand, and you'll see that they when those increases come through. But I think we need to be cognizant of the fact that such levies, they are very quick transmission mechanism in order to bring money into the fiscus. So there's no way that government will ignore that, given the slew of challenges that we are facing in the economy. So they know that they will get their money very fast.
All right, so we may see an increase, tempered somewhat perhaps. Let's wait and see until Wednesday. And I guess finally, this is another reason why we need safe and cost-effective public transport, why we need to focus on that.
Yeah, there is a transport master plan, and that has not been worked very, very well in terms of public transport, bringing your bus operators and integrating them. And I know that the Department of Transport has been working on that plan for the longest time. But then you have issues of subsidies that the guys want and they have not been receiving. The municipalities must also subsidize them. Who's supposed to pay subsidies? Is it the national government? Is it municipalities?
Sure.
So
let's have this discussion.
It's
I
another
really
issue
do.
altogether.
Especially because we know that the taxis often follow suit very quickly and hike their prices, but we have to leave it there. And let's chat to you after the budget and see what the Finance Minister does around levies on Wednesday.